to cite my latest article, I really started to make a point about this, showing a historic example of corporate brainwashing where nobody wanted to eat hot dogs because they were toxic and they were made with processed food, and everybody was trying to stay natural. And I showed people that classic Oscar Mayer Wiener commercial from 1965, where the little kids are dancing together and they say, "If I was an Oscar Mayer Wiener, everyone would be in love with me." And then you got this one kid who doesn't want to sing the song and he says, "If I were an Oscar Mayer Wiener, it would surely be the end of me." And then all the other kids gang up on him, and he ends up falling in line with them and marching and singing the same song, that everybody would be in love with him. And it appears like an innocuous, silly example, but this is part of their strategy. The vertical integration was to switch us over from simple food that we were used to having for thousands of years, having a breakfast with eggs and, simple single ingredient foods, and then getting us onto like boxed cereal. And now, just all this processed stuff, or, oh, well, you're too busy to even cook, so you got to just grab fast food. Well, Jacob told me that the fast food was weaponized. In fact, most of the processed food is weaponized. And for me, one of the real amazing events of 2018 was this movie called Secret Ingredients. Now, I don't have any relationship with the filmmakers. This is the first time I've ever discussed this, but this movie came out a little while ago. And if you hadn't been eating organic food before and then you watch this film, you will definitely not ever want to eat anything that's not organic again, because it is totally shocking.
When you say, let me jump in real quick. What's your definition of processed foods?
Well, they go through that in the film, but in general, what we're looking at is various documentaries that are showing us different things about our food supply that are incredibly dangerous and harmful. And of course, we have Robert De Niro, who did Vaxxed, the movie about vaccines, which is very highly controversial. Mm-hmm. If you have kids in California, they force you to vaccinate your kids. You don't even have a choice. There was a vaccine lawsuit that happened just at the beginning of the year here, where the antigens weren't even present in the vaccine. So people are starting to wake up to the fact that these vaccines are harmful. Not that vaccination doesn't work at its core, but that's not all that they're doing with this. So you can look at Vaxxed, and then there's a really great movie narrated by Katie Couric called Fed Up, and that one focuses specifically on sugar. There's a few different movies that are focusing on regular wheat with the work of Dr. William Davis, the author of Wheat Belly, and others like him. And then Secret Ingredients is where you then bring in like the produce, and specifically genetically modified food. They really focus on this Monsanto ingredient called glyphosate that's now being used as a weed killer. That's what their excuse is. It started as something that they found from industrial waste. And they noticed, hey, wow, look, these industrial waste pipes dump out into this field and everything dies. Hey, we could use this. It's a weed killer. So they designed the crops that are all conventional produce to be able to handle taking this toxin in without them becoming destroyed by it. But then everything else that would live in that area is gone.
See, and there's another vicious circle there when we're talking about not only glyphosate and Monsanto. There's a weird catch-22 here, in that a circle that nobody can get out of. You're going to buy your seeds from Monsanto that go on the ground. You're going to get a loan from Monsanto to purchase, and then that goes in the ground. Then you're going to buy the weed killer. And then, and then stuff is going to be sprayed from the sky. And all of that is happening. That all comes from Monsanto. Then the stuff comes out of the ground. Then the distribution network goes into play. So now you've got not only modified crops, but controlled also by Monsanto to allow them to grow. And then the cycle starts all over again, and it goes into the stores. And it's like the perfect scenario for Monsanto that they are going to profit on every side. And the farmers across this country, whether they're corporate owned or family owned, from top to bottom, are only dealing with Monsanto, and they don't have any choices here. And that is an amazing thing where suddenly we have generations of our children that are now genetically modified because they are consuming stuff that isn't natural. And we don't know the ramifications of this in 10 or 20 years, the next generation coming around.
Well, we can see it coming because in this film, they open up with this family where both the parents are like long-distance marathon runners. They should be the epitome of health. They eat right. They drink lots of clean, fresh water. But they're not eating organic. They're eating conventional produce, which all has this glyphosate in it. Their whole entire family starts having this crazy degenerative disease. Mm-hmm. And as soon as they went organic, everything went away, including their child's autism.
Right.
Everybody got better, just like that.
Right. And look, better than anybody that I enjoy cooking. Rita and I enjoy cooking. We enjoy the celebration of dinners with family and friends, and we do it often. But we are cautious with what we cook with, right? And that's the big difference here. Yeah, I may be standing at my grill next to David, doing some crazy meat cooking, but it's the correct stuff. And
the awesome Armenian shish kebab.
Yes, you did it so well. But it's what you consume, and our bodies have changed. Rita and I have changed, and it's something that you have to do, and you have to recognize it. And I am fearful. And the other thing is, David, we're going to be headed towards a break here, but I've given up Captain Crunch. Do you know what?
Wow, that's a big sacrifice.
That's a big deal, and I couldn't imagine my life without certain things. And man, Captain Crunch berries and peanut butter crunch were part of my life, but they are not anymore.
If you want to become Top Jimmy, like in the Van Halen namesake, I don't think Top Jimmy eats Captain Crunch when he walks and he screams. And if Top Jimmy is the king, then he's not going to be king with Captain Crunch.
Man, in my future, though, I saw Top Jimmy with a big bowl of but you have to make these changes. And for me to see these things happen, I would only suggest to anybody else, if you're out there, just try it for 3 months. Just make that sacrifice.